Today we're going to be talking about Formula One drivers and private jets in this episode of Biz Jet TV. Lots to talk about this recently, about them arriving in their private jets. Why do they fly private? What airplanes do they have? And so let's go into this, and we're going to talk about a few drivers and their preferences with private jets. The first one is Max Verstappen. He is one of the top Formula One drivers out there. He owns a Falcon 8X. Now, this is a great airplane. The reason why he chose the 8X is because of its steep approach capability and its long-range capability. So this allows Max to travel all over the world with his private jet. It's the same plane all the time. As you can see, it's got nice colors and that, and he can carry a few people with him and some gear in the back. And this is why he chose the Falcon 8X. Great airplane. It's also very aerodynamic. Dassault talk often about the fact that they build fighter jets as well, and so they take the technology that they put in the fighter jets and they apply it to their private jets. We also saw just recently at the Paris Air Show the Falcon 6X, which is the new Falcon out there, doing some demonstration flights and some semi-aerobatics just to show the aerodynamics on this airplane. So that's why he has chosen the Falcon 8X, which is a great airplane to fly, and off he goes. Now, the next person I want to talk about is Fernando Alonso. He flies a Dassault Falcon 900C. Now, this is an older jet. There's a newer version of the Falcon 900, but the 900C is an airplane today you can buy for less than $7-8 million. It's got 4,100 nautical mile range, so not quite the range of a Falcon 8X, which is around about 6,000 nautical miles. But it does allow him to go around. It was a cheaper airplane to buy. And the Falcon jets tend to be the preferred airplanes for a lot of the European Formula One drivers. So that's interesting. This also has 3 engines. So there's advantages with the 3 engines on certain routes. And that's why he picked this airplane. Then we go on to Lewis Hamilton, who's one of the top drivers in the world. And this is an interesting story because Lewis Hamilton used to own his own Challenger 605. So now we're going into the Bombardier aircraft. And he owned it for a number of years. He had a special registration, which was Golf Lima Charlie Delta Hotel, which is basically his name. And he used to fly around with this red airplane. But then he decided to sell the airplane because he wanted to be more socially responsible. And he's talking about the environment. He also went on to a plant-based diet, which he talks has helped him with his mental clarity and his performance as well. And so he goes around preaching the plant-based diet, saying that it really has helped him, a bit like Novak Djokovic, the famous tennis player. He's on a plant-based diet as well. And so to be in line with the plant-based diet thing, Lewis Hamilton decided to sell his jet and rent jets to get to the different Formula One races. So that's what he does. So he rents every time he needs to move around. He does fly private, but he decided to rent, and that's the reason why he's decided to rent. Now, obviously, it's interesting to see. There's also a bunch of Formula One drivers you can see arriving in Citation jets and whatever. A lot of them do reside in Monte Carlo. So Nice would be the airport they would fly out of, which is close by. And some of them use smaller jets. And then when they have to fly long distance, they will charter. Of course, a lot of the Grand Prix, there are quite a few Grand Prix in Europe anyway, between the UK, Italy, Germany, and other places, Hungary, and that. So a lot of the races are in Europe, and then when they have to go to races elsewhere, they just jump on a charter. Now, of course, it's interesting to see that all these Formula One drivers are in the same business. They're racing against each other in the same races, but there's all different styles here, from the guy that wants to buy the CJ3, the Falcon 900C, which is a longer range airplane, but an older version. As we said, Alonso is flying around in a Falcon 900, and then you've got Max Verstappen, who's flying around in a airplane which is almost brand new, Falcon 8X. So he's got one airplane which takes him all over the world to all the races. That's his choice. So it really is down to you and your needs, your desires, what you want airplane-wise. I'm here to help. This is what I do, is I source aircraft for people. I help them choose the right aircraft for them. As I always say, the plane is one side of the deal, and then the pilot's really, really important. The pilots are more important than the plane. We need to find the right crew to fly your airplane to keep you safe. So you can reach out to me on my email and schedule a one-to-one call. Let's see how we can get you flying at the same speed these Formula One drivers fly. But the reason why the Formula One drivers are using private jets is because these guys are into peak performance. What they do is something right on the edge there. You have to really be able to think quick to drive a Formula One car, especially at this level here. These guys are winners. They understand peak performance, and that's why they have the private jet. The private jet is very much, they talk about a private jet is a time-saving device. Yes, but in reality, it's not a time-saving device. It is a peak performance tool. So if you want to peak perform, and that means using the private jet, not just for your business, but also to take your family around when you go on holiday. And that is fly around with your family, because it helps the whole family. You know, it's more private, and it helps the more family perform better in all their things. It helps your kids perform better in school, helps your wife perform better, whatever she's up to, and you with all the things that you're doing. And so it's really a peak performance tool. And that's all from Fabrizio Paoli here on Biz Jet TV. Remember to subscribe to the channel and check out this other video we did recently about the Air India crash, which is a lot of talk about that recently. And that's all from me here on this episode, and I will see you on the next one.